Hello and welcome to the first episode of many of our actual play of Nebin Pendlebrook's Perilous Pantry Dungeon Crawl Classics Level 0 funnel, where our wonderful DM, Judge Zach, is going to probably kill us all mercilessly many times over. I'm really excited. It's the second time we've done Dungeon Crawl Classics on the stream, but it's been ages. If you are a fan of Dungeon Crawl Classics, please do like and subscribe or follow or whatever, depending if you're looking on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or something else. That's probably it, really. Let's bring on the cast who are kind of over here right now. Hang on, let me just do some magic. So there we go. Hey, thank you everyone for joining. Let's get the boss in the middle.
Oh, I like that title.
I bet you do.
How's it going?
Very good.
You
good to be back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Yeah. I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too. Let's do some introductions. So obviously I'm Phil, says so there. And we've done a few different things on the channel. Dungeon Crawl Classics is something that we have been meaning to come back to. I'm really excited. Please check out some of our other content. I'm going to throw the talking stick, the talking sword of doom, to my left. And Zach, would you like to introduce yourself and who you'll be playing today?
Yes, my name's Zach, and I've run Dungeon Crawl Classics for a couple of years at this point. I really enjoy it. It's probably one of my favorite fantasy games. I have a great amount of time running or playing the game. I love all the crazy dice and all the hilarious character deaths and hijinks. So the character I'll be playing today is the world. I can show you the world.
On a map.
Yeah, on a map. Yeah.
Cool.
In terms of introducing characters and stuff, I'll be let's fold character introductions into the beginning of the delicate tale I'll be weaving this evening.
Okay, let's do that.
Really immerse everyone into it. So maybe if you just introduce yourselves as you go around, and then we can start playing. Yeah.
Cool. Over to Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin, Spider Lady Annoya online. I've done DCC before. Looking forward to it. It should be a good evening.
Cool, thank you. And other Phil, good to see you. Thanks for joining. First time on the stream.
First time playing DCC as well, actually. So, hi, I'm Phil, otherwise known as XYP. And I'm role-playing games for decades, but first time doing a Dungeon Crawl Classic. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. And last but by no means least, Pete, want to introduce yourself? You are muted, my friend. You're still muted.
Of course, I'm muted, and my mouse was miles away from the microphone.
Oh, I've been there. And also, welcome to the stream. As we haven't seen your friendly face before either.
No, although Zach has, because Wednesday nights is indeed the time of the week when I would play Dungeon Crawl Classics with Zach in pubs in Loughborough in the before times. Yes,
we've been there a few times ourselves, so we've probably crossed paths, but on different tables, I should think.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll start up again with the Loughborough Crawlers, and Judge Bruce often there as well as many of our other friends.
Also, very happily found my DCC dice while we were waiting for the intro. Makes me very happy.
Well, I mean,
Pete goes in Twitch, but Pete goes on Twitter.
Thank you. Great stuff. Welcome to the stream. And I should also say that my name's Phil. I've said that already, and I will be playing as well, which was not the original plan. Sadly, at the very last minute, one of our friends was unable to stay with us. So in interests of keeping the flow going and having enough people to talk nonsense on the screen, I'll be playing as well. I have my 4 predetermined deaths here. Looking forward to it. I think that's probably. Are we good to go?
Yeah, so I mean, we've also recorded an intro to DCC and what it is and all that kind of stuff on the Dark Orb as well. So probably worth checking that out after this. But to give anyone who's watching who maybe is seeing DCC for the first time a quick intro to what we're doing tonight, we're going to be playing Nebin Pendlebrook's Perilous Pantry. It's put out by Purple Sorcerer Games, and it's probably one of my favorite funnels of DCC. It's very, very good, funny, lots of character death, and that's kind of one of the themes of DCC. So, a funnel, you may not have heard that term before, is a DCC thing. It's basically character creation. So, what you do is you roll up 4 characters completely randomly. You don't get to choose their stats. You don't get to choose anything about them. You just completely rolled by the dice. And you take these 4 people, and in other role-playing games, you begin as maybe a hometown hero, a high school quarterback of fantasy times, and so you're generally skilled in your own right. The characters that you begin with in DCC are level 0s. They are like pig farmers armed with a stick. So the way that character creation works is you play through an adventure called a funnel, and it is just a character grinder. It is there just to kill characters. And what you should hopefully come out with is 1 or more characters who become level 1 characters, and they're not hometown heroes. They're just a dude who's seen some stuff. And that's kind of how you make characters in DCC. So that's what we're going to be doing over the course of the next couple of sessions here. So I guess we can start with the story, right? So we all good?
Go on then. Very quickly, hello to everyone that's watching live. Thank you for joining us. If you missed the intro, stick around after stick around. We're going to have a break about an hour and a half in. And then we're going to record a second session. So it'll look like we're finishing. We're really not. We're just recording 2 sessions back to back and sharing it with you on Twitch. Let's go for it.
Cool. So this story begins, as all good adventures do, in a tavern. But unlike the stories that begin in a tavern that maybe are told by people far off on the coast, wizards, if you will, those sorts of stories, this isn't like a tavern full of heroes and ne'er-do-wells. It's a tavern full of you lot. It's just basically just you lot. But what makes this tavern special is that it's in a town that's special to you. It's a town called Bitterweed Barrow, and it's your hometown. Most people in Bitterweed Barrow haven't really left more than 10 miles away from Bitterweed Barrow. Most people kind of don't even really have most people won't have even seen a gold piece. There's not really much need for it. It's a fairly sleepy town, and everyone gets on with their own stuff. The tavern that you're in is called the Bloody Bullfrog. It's owned by Solomon Gruth III. He's the great grandson of the original owner, Solomon Gruth, who swore on the day that he broke ground. I think my kids just got home. Can you hear that?
It's like being in a pub.
it's adding some ambiance.
Absolutely.
My wife's there, so he'll be okay. But if someone bursts in the door, then we'll know that it's serious. So it's owned by Solomon Gruth III, the great-grandson of the original owner, and Solomon Gruth swore on the day that he broke ground to build the tavern that it rained frogs for a full minute, and that they all became sort of bloody geysers on the ground as they fell from thousands of feet. Other people who were around at that time saw him drink a few cups before he broke the ground. So whether that's true or not is another thing, but it's a good legend nonetheless. It's a busy afternoon in the Bloody Bullfrog, and the reason is that Solomon has gathered the entire village in the front room of the tavern, and he wouldn't normally have the authority to call halt to the work of the village like this, early in the day, but it would seem at the moment, he's kind of the best authority that the town has. The reason being is that 3 days ago, the constable Kelvin Stockton disappeared. Now that by itself might be strange or alarming, but what's more strange and more alarming about that is that his disappearance was after the disappearance of another member of the town. So about a week ago, a portly halfling named Nebin Pendlebrook was digging into the side of the hill that his house was dug into, and I've got a photo that you will. This is how you remember Nebin if you look in the VTT there.
I'll just share.
So he was cool. So he was trying to enlarge his pantry before the winter, and he seemed to have unearthed a long buried tunnel. No one even knew that he'd uncovered this until a couple of days after. Well, we guess a couple of days after he discovered it, when he was noticed missing. And so Kelvin, the constable, investigated. He descended into the darkness with his lantern in hand, and it's been 3 days since he went down, and neither have returned. So here you are in the tavern, in your work aprons and muddy boots, holding shovels. and Solomon asks of you, who of you will ensure the safety and prosperity of Bitterweed Barrow and investigate these disappearances?
Well, I definitely will. Upstanding gentleman of the community that I am, as rises Butcher Bynon, a large, portly gentleman who looks like a cross between a pig and a pig and a human. He's a bristly hog hair type, sort of ginger guy that's just really large. He looks like he should be chewing on a finger, possibly not his own.
He's like a human in pig font.
Yeah. Large gentleman. He's still wearing his butcher's apron from the day. Has his butcher's cleaver tucked into the side. He always has it in like a little holster to the side of him. I definitely will. We must go looking for the constable. It's the only one we've got in the town. So I definitely. Who will join me?
And I guess Nebin as well. He's gone too. But the constable's important. Yeah. But also.
Well, I was going to say I think that's why Barbo, my halfling trader, is more than happy to go and help. Neblin's just as important as the constable. Thank you. Uh-huh. And also Mima, my human butcher, obviously works with Bynon. Is going to join Bynon to go along too.
Fantastic. So cheers go up as each of these people, it's the afternoon. Everyone's got an afternoon off, right? So there's a few drinks going around and stuff like, yeah, they're all right. Barbo's all right. Who's all right? Barbo's all right.
Yeah. A couple of really oddly dressed people at a table. You've heard arguing over which ridiculous superstition is correct, alongside a guy who seems to have lots of sort of weird tools around his belt, and a dwarf who keeps saying that the other guy's tools are far too small to do anything useful. And you've heard this all the way through, and the dwarf just stands on the table and says, well, I don't know about the rest of these gits, but I'm in. I can smell gold. And with that, one of the two oddly dressed fellows stands up and says, well, and he's everyone else is drinking beer, and he's got this cup of tea, and he finishes it.
What a douchebag!
Right, finishes it, and then he looks in the tea leaves and goes, "Could be profitable."
Uh-huh.
And so the four of them just say, "Oh, go on then."
Righto. I'm sure that story is amazing.
Young man.
Yeah. That's We missed the best part. Say it again.
Indeed.
The familiar face to most of you. It's Arthur Eisen. He is the tax collector. And he is standing up and saying, obviously, with Nebin disappearing,
terrible.
That'll be half of my work if we don't go and find him. And
indeed,
Brooke Sider, the beekeeper, stands up as well and goes, "Yeah. My living will be halved if I can't sell him my honey. He's one of my best customers." And there's a bit of a commotion at the back as you sort of see a newcomer to the village. He's come in with a trading post, and he's a caravan guard that nobody really knows. Looks a bit shifty. These guys, these sellswords, they just appear out of nowhere, and he's been pushed forwards into the middle of the group by one of the local sort of ruffians who was a former soldier. We're going. There's Charwell Drogor, the gruff soldier, and Dravid Girdle, the slightly cagey-looking caravan guard, seem to both have been volunteered by Charwell.
Well, I was going to say at that moment, that's when Aurek gets pushed forward as well. He's been telling tales of his mercenary deeds prior to coming into the pub, and everybody wants to know why he's not stepped forward already. You see him shuffle forwards and accept that he'll have to go forward and do his bit and show everybody that he really is as good as he says he is.
Fantastic.
A dwarven miner stands up and goes, "Well, I'm not having just one dwarf going, representing us. I'm going too." And with that, Troll flicks a ponytail over his shoulder. "I'm coming too."
You can hold hands and stuff, and you're the right size. You don't have to be like that all the time. With
less of that. Barbo's not really very pleased about the size mission. Come on, cut that out.
Is that everyone? Have we met all the characters?
No, there's one last one, I'm afraid. There might be two of us, actually.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to kill them all anyway, so
might as well introduce them now.
Might as well introduce them now, yeah. While they're not just a cadaver, yeah.
So Jen and Jim, the village. They're still relatively young, so adolescents. They're twins. They're quite creepy-looking albino twins.
Oh my word!
Jen's. They're both beggars, and they've been hanging around the town. And this is not a massively wealthy town, so they're not doing very well as beggars. And they don't volunteer, but they're going to follow the group down anyway, and they just
the calendars are wide open, right?
They can't be choosers, right?
Yeah, well, they sort of both look to the group and go in synchronization. Go, we'll probably come too, but that's not for you.
See, when you first introduced them, before you said anything, I thought you were going to make them like high school sweethearts or something that always like lived in the town, and I was like, oh no, I'm not going to have to. I don't want to have to kill that. But you've made something that I very much now want to kill.
Yes, yeah,
so that's good. Yeah,
and that leaves Brody, who's kind of like he's the village kind of hunter, knows the area really well. He steps forward and offers to guide the team. I'll say, make sure you go the right direction and make sure you come back. A promise that is never kept before.
The direction is forward to adventure.
Oh no!
So so Solomon says, well, there's already been a few disappearances. So this might be the last time we speak. We might as well have an afternoon. And he says, half
drinks on him,
3/4 price drinks for everyone. And he allows you to have a drink, and there is a general, a solemn but a celebratory mood of the idea that this mystery is going to be solved. And so you all take up seats around the bloody bullfrog. And what I'm going to get you to do is go around the table, pick the character in front of you that is going to be probably the most likely to strike up a conversation with someone around the table, and roll a d10 for me. And then if we just go around, maybe we start with Dark Orb Phil, and tell me who you're talking to, and I'll tell you what they say.
Who they're talking to in terms of? Sorry, I missed a bit.
Who's the person that you're sitting at the table with and speaking to? A villager of some description.
Okay, so Zeb, the astrologer, is kind of happy to talk to absolutely anyone. And he's quite judgmental and thinks that his way is the only way, of course, the way of the old gods.
I mean, there's his way and then there's the wrong way, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is why he's always at odds with Groovex, who's also on the table, who's the shaman. You know, they have a kind of very love-hate relationship. They probably share two ends of the same business premises. You know, so they've had this bicker going on for years. But he's probably talking to whoever the most religious looking person is.
Cool. Doug, the religious person, is sitting across from you. And
I rolled an eight,
what was your role?
Well known in the village.
Yeah. Doug the preacher says, I'm afraid I lack the courage to investigate the matter myself. I can't imagine Nebin, half blind as he is, plunging himself deep into a hole, without any reason. I feel the cold eyes of death himself looking over our shoulders.
I mean, surely your protector, your god should prevent any peril from coming your way. I mean, you should be joining us.
Listen, are you the one who talks to God or me? I thought so. It's me, right?
Yeah,
so
I don't think it is.
I'm staying here.
God is here, and I pass him an empty cup of tea. Next,
I'm going to fade to black on that scene. Yeah, Aaron.
Bynon is sat at the table supping away, and the rather creepy twins, Jen and Jim, are sitting opposite him. The mid-witch cuckoos of the group. And Bynon's very much going, well, I don't actually quite see why you guys are coming with us, but it's good that you are. And I rolled a 4.
Cool. Who are they speaking with in the town? Sorry, I don't feel like I've been clear in what I'm saying. So your characters are speaking to villagers that you're making up here, right? So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And
so what sort of villager would they be
utterly ignore him, and instead they turn to another dwarf standing right next to Bynon, whose name is Derek.
Galen. Oh, Derek. Okay, Derek the dwarf. Yeah. Derek the dwarf.
Great with names.
Cool. 4. He says, I've been here in the wee hours, and I've seen the light from inside, and I heard the digging. He's up to something. It's time his secret was revealed. Kind of went between Scottish and pirate there. I think he might have spent some time on a boat. That Derek. Yeah. Cool. Improved Phil?
So it's Barbo, who's my halfling trader. He's going to actually go and speak to the barmaid about I want to have a chat about this 3/4 price of drink. Yeah, because as I'm only kind of a quarter the height of everybody else, I surely get my drink for free. Yeah, that quarter. And Barbo rolled a 4.
Okay. Alice, the barmaid says she basically just doesn't answer your question, tries to change the subject. She says, "What a fine fellow he was, or is. It's sad to think that something might have happened to the little bloke. If you were going to search for him, please take him these biscuits. I'm sure he's starving. And you receive 3 wrapped biscuits.
That's close to a quarter of a drink. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Sorted. Pete?
Unmute myself first.
Yeah, there you go. You're 2 years into a pandemic, dude.
Almost like we've done this before, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Brooks Sidle, the beekeeper, is going to go and sidle over to the baker. Obviously, he provides him with a reasonable amount of honey as well. The baker is obviously also going to be losing out, down a halfling. That's a lot of second breakfasts, yeah? So, you're not coming to. I mean, your livelihood's at stake here as well.
I would come, but speak of this to no one. The halfling came to me in a dream. I swear it to be true. I swear it to be. He came to me in a dream. His face was pale and his eyes were empty. But he sat upon a great treasure, singing and laughing. He was happy and sad at the same time. I'm not. I'm staying here. I will serve half the bread that I normally serve in his absence. But I will stay alive doing it.
If I don't come back, take care of the bees.
I will make no promises.
I think Pete ought to name all the bees now. They need to be looked after.
Well, there's Arthur the Harpy.
No, please stop. Please stop.
Cool. So Solomon Gruth, towards the end there, he says, well, as the stand-in constable in the area, I guess I can offer you what meager supplies we might have in the town's in the town's hold. There's not a lot in there, and we won't have a lot to defend ourselves if you empty us out. But if you need anything before you go, I guess it's in the best interests of the town if you're tooled up, sort of thing.
Cool. Go and take a look and see what those.
Okay. Well, so there is.
Like general.
I mean, are you looking in anything in particular?
Yes. That's it.
Okay.
No, actually, is there things like basic weapons and stuff there, or what? Yeah.
So tell me what you want. Roll under your luck, and it's there from the standard equipment. You're not going to find anything magical or anything like that, but generally any of the standard equipment there, roll under your luck and you can have one of them.
Okay. I've got a 4, so I can have a dagger.
Okay, cool.
A weapon. Love it.
So one of my characters is looking for, and yep, I rolled under my luck, a short bow. There is one.
Cool.
And another is looking for probably a shield. My dwarf.
We're gonna have somewhat of a push your luck mechanic here, where if you miss, then you have to stop because I'm not going to arm you up to the teeth.
No, that's absolutely fine because I rolled an 8, and my dwarf. I'm just going to show this on the camera. See if you can see what the luck is there.
Yep.
He's a very lucky dwarf. So that's it.
3 with -3. I love it.
Yeah. So he's gone in to look for a shield, and he's kind of just hit his head on something, and he's given up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be distracted. I feel like I need to say the screaming earlier was because my son didn't want to get into his PJs. I just didn't want anyone to think that I was a.
Oh no, it's the other way around. I never want to get out of them.
Why are you wearing Zach's son's PJs? So yeah, Farg was just shouting "Farg" as he hits his head on the shelf and just stormed out.
He's like a Pokemon,
pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess my mercenary might look for something shield-like as well. So let's have a look how that goes. Oh dear. Yeah, no, he didn't find anything shield-like. He rolled a 2. So
all right. So I mean, let's. You've all got the tables there. Rather than going around the table and saying things, basically, here's how we're playing it. Each character gets 1 luck check, or until you miss a luck check, whichever comes first. Is how you gonna get your stuff here, right?
Okay. So yeah, I've done. Thank you.
Cool. Can't hear you, Pete.
Really need to set up that keyboard shortcut, don't I? Luck checks a D20 under this luck, isn't it?
D20 under the luck. Yep.
Ooh, I got 1. Our tax collector.
Of course. Always lucky.
Only one of my 4 managed to roll under their luck. So Jim is sharing his bag of slingshot stones with his twin sister Jen. Bynon and Trall, well, tough hooey. Okay. They have to go with what they've already got in their pockets.
I wouldn't feel too hard done by.
And a crowbar.
I wouldn't feel too hard done by. I think that anyone watching who's ever judged DCC will agree with me that this is probably the kindest start to a level 1, level 0 adventure that anyone's ever run.
You're just like you're being really chilled and relaxed because you know what happens in the next scene, right?
Yeah, a rock falls you all day. Yeah.
So
the end.
Same here. Only 2 of mine managed to get anything. So Barbo got a dagger and Brody's got a quiver of arrows. So do you want to let me know how many? Should we guess?
Arrows is 20.
Wow.
It's 20. Its quantity is 20 arrows.
There you go.
According to the ammunition table.
Well, that's 20 more than he's ever had before.
Yeah. And he will forever have 20 because I will not be tracking ammo.
Because he recovers them, of course.
Yeah, sure. Cool. So if everyone's tooled up, we're all ready to go. We are slightly sauced up, full of that bravado that only the bloody bullfrog brew can give you.
And if it's acceptable, a thieves' tools for one of them, a flint and steel for another, and a 10-foot pole for the third.
Okay, sure. Gee whiz, there was some stuff in that store, and there is not now. There is not. There's
no shields. What on earth's going on?
Bitterweed Barrow now has a moth to defend itself with. But nonetheless, you leave the bloody bullfrog clanking down the road that you can see on the VTT there, and 10 feet away from Pete's character, and you head on down towards where Nebin's house is in the side of the hill there, in a legally distinct Hommit home. So what you see out the front there is the day's work's done. You wander on down there, and the last of an orange twilight reflects off the hand-carved door set in the hillside. No lights burning within. You can't see, if you don't see the flicker of candles or anything like that. You know that from the stories, and because I mean it's a small town, right? The everyone's been talking. Everyone kind of already knows the full get up here. You know that Nebin dug the pantry into the hillside inside of his home, but right now you're outside of the home, so you can't see the pantry because you're outside, and that's like how outsides work. So yeah. Rather than you need to be inside to see the. We got that. We're clear on the outside inside thing.
Yeah,
we're all good. Yeah.
Are you lost me on this outside thing? I'm not quite sure.
So you're outside. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Sky ceiling. That's
no,
how I
lost me.
You remember?
I've been here for 2 years.
Well, are we going in or what, people? Says Bynon.
Inside.
Well,
Through this door. Are we going in, or am I going to have to lead us?
Oh, well, the constable opened the door yesterday, or a few days ago, so it must be open now.
Yep, 3 days ago we opened the door. Yeah.
Bynon tries the door.
Very good.
Cool. Can I know, just before you open the door, does anyone have any animals or food?
Bynon has a side
on
of
any
beef.
of their characters.
Yeah.
Beef.
Just a second. I have some meat as well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Mima is also a butcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it might also be a side of beef.
Cool.
And then turns to Mima and goes, "Why did you bring that side of beef along?"
Well, you had one, so I thought it was the right thing to do.
Beef off.
Yes. Yes, very good, very good. Great minds think alike.
Can the people who are carrying food make a reflex save? Now, whilst you're doing that in DCC, there is a luck mechanic whereby you can burn points of luck in order to be able to increase your rolls if you want to. But the lower luck you get, you've already seen where we've rolled under the luck. The lower your luck is, the worse your luck is. So it's kind of, and especially because it's going to be an ongoing campaign, you kind of don't want to burn heaps of it and end up being the unluckiest sod in the world. Because you also don't naturally recover them unless you're a halfling. There's an exception to every rule, isn't there?
It was the one bit of the rules I couldn't work out. So there's a reflex save against agility, I guess.
So a reflex is a type of save. So there should be a reflex on your character sheet there with a number. So it's just a D20, and you're trying to. This one is a DC 8, so you're looking to roll an 8 or above.
Okay.
Did I answer your question? I'm not sure if I did.
Maybe not. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
11.
So, 11. Yeah, fantastic.
16 on the dice, 17 for Brookside, this beekeeper.
Did he have honey on him? Did he?
He has some honey but also some rations. A day's worth of rations, apparently.
Okay, cool. So Sadar.
Obviously,
all right.
Still got his snack bag because he didn't stop his dinner today.
Which one's your favourite out of those two things? The honey or the rations?
Well, obviously the honey.
The honey.
Beekeeper.
Okay. The honey's your favourite. Cool.
Absolutely. He's a beekeeper.
And what did you roll, Aaron?
14 in total.
Okay, fantastic. So everyone saved then, basically, on a DC 8, yeah? So you might be interested what the save was for. So the door gets opened was it Bynon?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So Bynon opens the door, and what you hear skittering, right? And skittering's never great. It's more like a slimy sort of skittering, and you see thousands of these guys, yellow like salamanders with red eyes, and they just come flooding out. It's disgusting. There's like thousands and thousands of them, and the people with food, these salamanders, they like start crawling up you, and they're all up in your business. And it was Bynum that had the meat, and they all just start. They've got you see them all start chomping down. They got these like needle teeth, and they're just devouring this meat. And the reflex was for you to get it off you and throw it away.
He screams like a little girl while doing it, like and throws the meat to be away, as far away from these horrible little salamanders as possible.
And then so you get a similar scene. It was the not your honey, Seldar. It was so you've your rations got eaten, but you've managed to save the honey. You may be holding the honey up above your head while you throw the rations around.
and Mima, who is a little girl, actually screams like a bloke and throws it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It is
excellent. Fantastic. All right. So these salamanders are just like they pour out of the doors and the windows, and unless there's any other actions that are being taken as part of other than throwing away food and so forth. No. Okay. So we're going to just let this happen, and you notice that they do just sort of like they're free. The world is now up many thousands of yellow salamanders. So that's
they're just legging it out of the building and into the world.
Yep.
Goodness,
they're
me.
Free.
Can Jen try to catch one?
Yeah, sure. You can try and catch one. Yeah.
As the skitters past, she goes to see if she can catch it as a present.
Make an agility check. They're very fast and they're very tiny. It's going to be pretty difficult.
Got a 1.
Okay. Yeah. No.
No. Slipped straight through her fingers.
No.
To the point where it bit her and then slipped straight through her fingers.
Yeah. I'm a firm, but I'm a fair judge. I'm not going to make you take damage for the one on the skill check. But as soon as you've already saved earlier. But you're not able to catch them.
I've got an empty flask. Yale, the locksmith, has, and I think she'd like to just sort of open it up and try and scoop, just like basically drop the flask down and see if one will just run in. If that's all right.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. I think this one is you're more trying to preempt. Okay, yeah, you didn't do it.
One of my characters has got a no.
Yeah. So you push one into the ground and it looks like you push it's the jar you're trying to catch, right? You push it directly into the ground and it goes over the top of one of the salamander's tails and you're like, yes! And then it drops its tail and runs away. Yeah.
Even more disgusting.
Yeah, it's just
I pick the tail up and I throw it at the jar now. At Mima. As you know, I'll throw it. Was it Bynum who screamed like a little girl? So yeah, she'll pick up the tail and throw it at Bynum.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of fun with the burly screaming character. Yeah,
and it flies at him and just drops off.
Well, I thought you might like a brooch, dear.
He just ignores. Have these salamanders now stopped pouring out of the door?
Yes, you are now stood in front of a salamanderless house. Well, maybe not completely salamanderless. I mean, it's difficult to tell, but it's at least less like engorged with salamanders than it was previously. Yeah.
Bynum suggests, I believe the wave of lizards has ceased. Let us enter and go look for people.
I'm actually imagining these lizards kind of going like that and doing a Mexican wave now.
Authorizing the tax collector strokes his chin. I should be charging him tax for the pets.
Of course you do.
I'll take a note.
That's awesome. I hate that character. That's awesome.
Brody, the hunter, steps forward and says, "Come on, people, let's get inside."
The inside thing. So yeah, we're going inside.
Yeah,
it's from the outside
where ceilings are rather than skies.
Yeah, cool. So you wander on in. The outside of the house, the front of the house, the facade is quite nice, almost ostentatious for for the village. So you expect quite a nice inside, but what you find is fairly unassuming. It's cozy. Or at least it kind of was before everything was stripped threadbare by needle-toothed salamanders. Basically, everything that isn't nailed down is chewed up. Is kind of what you see in here. You're kind of in a front room. There looks to be a doorway as you walk in off to the right, and that's what you can see.
Okay. Let's move forward then, folks. There's that's the only doorway ahead, so it's like a little hallway going in.
Yeah, as I say, it's a fairly unassuming thing. So yeah, there's only the one doorway off to the right there.
Okay, let's take a walk forward to that door and have a look at. I take it that's not got a lock on. It's inside.
It's more of a doorway than a door.
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Let's move up to the doorway and have a look through. What's the other side of the doorway?
Yeah, so you find yourself inside of a small but seems like a well put together kitchen. Everything has a place, and for a place, everything. Is that the thing? I can't remember what that saying is, but anyway, yeah, everything looks in order, right? Apart from the teeth marks and so forth. They've even had a go at the stove. On the far wall, you see a shovel resting near a large hole that's dug deeper into the hill. And on a small chair in the corner there, you can see a new torch, 50 feet of rope, and bite marks on the chair.
When you say bite marks, as in look like the needle teeth of a salamander? Okay.
It's ruined like everything else in this house.
Yeah, okay. I was just checking it wasn't like huge mouth bite mark.
Just like a bite mark. There's like a piece missing.
Shark bite.
Yeah.
And the Exia says we need to tell the shovel to get back to work. It shouldn't be resting.
Right. Come on.
So come on in, folks. The kitchen's filthy, and there's a great big hole in the corner.
Oh, you're really selling it.
Well, I mean, it just looks like a vivarium. It's covered in salamander dew, and there's just stuff everywhere. It's a real state.
Okay.
Who knows anything about tunneling?
Trial is a miner. Dwarven miner. She steps to the shovel and inspects the shovel. She's looking to see what sort of quality of shovel this is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good?
The other dwarf will probably
shovel?
come with you, as Farg is a blacksmith, and so is happy to help with the inspection. But respects that as a miner, you'll know more about the active use of such tools.
Why don't you make an intelligence check to see what you can discern from the shovel?
16.
Cool.
Fantastic.
I got a 3, by the way.
Cool. So Phil's character thinks this is probably the most fantastical. Probably thinks it's the most fantastical shovel that they've ever seen. And Erin's character thinks that of all the normal shovels they've seen in their life, this is the most normal shovel that they've ever seen.
I think, so Farg is probably going, that's a good shovel, it's very shovelly. It's going to be, if you ever need to shovel something,
you want that shovel? So I'll have that shovel if you want the shovel.
Troll picks it up and goes, it's a bit generic as a shovel, to be honest with you. But I'll take it, and sit over her shoulder.
It's an adequate shovel.
Yeah, it's an adequate shovel.
Well, it's not gonna break. Maybe
it's definitely a shovel, not a spade, because I'd call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
With that, she walks to the hole in the wall. She's going to inspect the hole in the wall.
Cool. Cool.
She couldn't give two hoots about the 50-foot of rope that's lying there. What would you need?
Oryx's going to go up to the hole as well. So where's all the soil that's been dug out of this hole? Where is it? It's clearly not in the kitchen.
I'm going to get back to you on that. There's
a plot point unlocked.
Yeah, exactly. I'm writing that down. I'm writing that down for future development of the story here. There's no dirt that you can see. So yeah.
How does the tunnel look like it's been made?
Well, so here's the thing that you do know, right? Because as I say, there was scuttlebutt and so forth. He didn't dig this tunnel, right? He came across it. He was digging into the side of his house to increase the size of his pantry for winter, and he discovered this tunnel. Yeah.
It's like a naturally formed.
Well, you can see the tunnel on the VTT there,
my cunning.
There you go.
Crikey! I see what you mean. So it's not dug at all.
No. So the tunnel slope. The tunnel slopes down into a cool, silent darkness, like the worst kind of darkness.
Brick lined. This is a stonework. This is also chargeable.
So the what? This is going to increase his property tax. Yeah. The walls.
Extension.
The walls are rough hewn, but the footpath appears to be smooth and well worn, and covered in a thick layer of dust. Apart from in some places, there are two sets of footprints, both leading down, but neither of them come back up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can see which way they went.
I think they went down.
Indeed.
This looks like This looks like no tunnel, no mining works I have ever seen. Says Troll. I don't see why you would need a shovel for such a thing. Somebody has already lined it. And with that, she just says, crazy people, and steps to one side, so others could go first.
Very polite.
Oryx's happy to start leading the way. Come on, folks. I think we've got to go this way. It's clearly the direction they've gone.
So, Dravid, the guard, will allow him to go off, and then behind him, he'll prod the ground with his 10-foot pole going along.
Okay,
Thanks
sure. That's that's not going to break soon. Cool.
I think Zeb's just basically walking. As far as he's concerned, he's seen it in the leaves. It's going to be a hugely successful adventure. Everyone's going to come back full of riches.
Most of the party goes straight past Dravid with his pole prodding at the ground until he's at the back. Trying to keep himself alive a little bit harder than everyone else.
Okay. Cool. So you wander down the thing. I should ask you as well. Remember that silent darkness? How do you intend to combat that?
Oh yeah, we picked up the torch on the way down.
I didn't.
There was a torch, wasn't there?
Yes,
there was.
Jen
a torch,
and Jim are going to defeat the silent bit by going ooh. Ooh, all the way down while following near the back, just making horrible creepy noises to freak everybody else out.
That's going to be really helpful in the future, I can tell. So, Oryx essentially has started wandering down until he can no longer see where he's going, actually.
Brookside, the beekeeper, has a flint and steel, handily.
Okay, great.
I think the dwarven blacksmith, being a dwarf, would have gone, actually, no, he's a dwarf. He would be like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever, bro. So I'm just going to go down.
He will attempt to strike up a light and see if he can light the torch.
Yeah, I mean, you've lit torches before, right? Like, this would be no
not all of the torches he's lit have been weighed on by salamanders.
I mean, Pete, if you want me to make you fail this, then I can just do it. We don't have to roll.
No,
But I'm going to let you do it for free.
DC 19
explodes into flames.
Well, it depends
and
how
eyebrows off.
flammable salamander wee is, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, look, I can tell you.
The other way.
If you can tell me who's holding the torch, I'll tell you who's holding a lit torch. Yeah.
Yeah. The beekeeper will take the torch and
Cool.
walk down with it. Brooksider, the beekeeper, with his jar of honey and a torch.
All right. I'll try and remember that, but don't be a scaredy cat. You tell me if I forget, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So we got a torch, and I guess the beekeeper's heading up the party then, I guess. You want to see in front of you, it would seem to be difficult to be at the back.
He'll go just behind the first people so that he's sort of casting
a safe distance.
Out of
the splash zone.
Troll realizes that the torch is going to totally ruin her improvision as a dwarf, so she stands ahead of the torch.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the same for Barbo as well, the halfling.
That's exactly why I was saying why I was going with Farg. I was thinking he's a dwarf, so he knows very well that it's going to be dark, and that no improvision, he's not going to give a shit.
Yeah.
So we've got. So it sounds like we've got Farg and Barbo and
Troll.
Yeah. And then Aurak he's still quite happy to go at the very edge of the torchlights. He's at the front too.
Cool. All right. Well, just help me remember the marching order.
Yeah.
As you you go down, you're following these tracks, and there's the rough hewn stone walls and so forth. The tunnel descends for nearly 50 feet. You're passing by. There's some mushrooms growing out of the walls and so forth. Not mundane, not really iridescent
Constantly
or anything
going down
like that,
though, yes.
Where you're going down. It's it's not sheer, right? But it's noticeably down that you're going. And after 50 feet, you walk out into a taller, wider chamber. And there are stalagmites and stalactites. This is not it's a natural chamber that you're in. And the stalagmites that grow out of the ground, is that what they do? They grow? I don't know. I'm reaching the edge of my geological knowledge here.
Mites up, tights down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I more meant how do they grow? Well, let's not get into this, right? How they grow. They're there, right? Is the important thing for this game. Yeah. And they've I'm back to it. They've grown in a certain way that force a meandering path through the chamber floor. Now, one set of footprints that you're following leads to the opposite wall of the chamber where they end abruptly. Think about that however you want to. The other set just simply stop in the middle of the cavern where the dust is disturbed, hinting at a scuffle if you had to guess. There's a small, tiny object that glints in the dirt nearby as well that you could see. So that's the scene before you.
Okay. When you say the footsteps just stop, does the path carry on, or does it go up against a wall?
Goes to a wall.
Okay. Okay. What about Barbo's interested in the shiny thing? What's he's going to approach? How big is it? Is it small, little, huge?
It's a small glinty thing. Yeah.
Okay. He's happy to. He doesn't have to bend down a lot. He's only a halfling, but he'll bend down to have a closer look.
So you'd have to walk further into the chamber to be able to do that.
How far? 6 feet, 10 feet.
So the chamber itself is probably about I think the roof is about 30 feet high, and then it's a natural chamber. So we're thinking dimensions of a natural sort of thing. So I'd say probably let's say 40 feet square sort of thing.
Okay,
thereabouts.
I'm just trying to work out: is he going out completely alone? I mean, is it like 10 feet ahead of him? Is it halfway into the cavern?
I'm not sure what your tolerance for risk is, but it's a long enough distance that a lot of players would generally suggest bringing friends.
Charles will go with them.
How close is it to where the scuffle looked like it might have happened?
About halfway between where you are now and the scuffle.
Okay. There's something shiny over there. I think we ought to go and have a look. It's about halfway to where the footprints start to end. Who's coming on?
I will, says Charles.
Yep.
Flicks the ponytail back. I will come. I need to stand behind this torch. It ruins my eyesight.
Okay, you want me to stay here with the torch then? Keep away from you with the torch.
Maybe hold it up. Maybe hold it up high so it casts a
I'll hold it up high.
We're not saying you smell, right? But
hold it up high. Hold on, let's get this right.
Okay,
there we go.
Come on, folks. This is a bit ominous, so I'm going to kind of have my hand on my dagger and start moving forwards to have a look.
Okay. All right. Ha! You fools! It's a fight. I got you. You fell into my trap. So what I'm gonna want from you is to work out the two characters with the lowest luck score.
Okay.
Well, that was easy. Out of all of us.
Oh yeah.
Out of everyone.
Well, Farg's got a luck score of 3, so I think he's probably the least lucky out of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I don't think I've got anyone as low as that. Let's have a look.
No, mine's 11, my lowest.
I've got a 6.
Okay, so it sounds like there was a 3 and a 6 are the two lowest I've heard so far. So those two characters make me a DC 16 reflex save. One thing about the way that I run DCC is I will tell you the DCs for skill checks, so you can use your luck points if you want to, because I like the luck mechanic and it's cool to use it. What I won't tell you the ACs of bad guys, so you have to keep track of that yourself. And so you can still use it to still use luck for ACs, but you have to keep track of it yourself. That's kind of an experience through battle thing.
Well, I got a 13, so if I were to spend all my 3 points of luck...
I got a 5, so I think I did okay.
Farg is just...
What?
So I rolled a 5 and my luck's a 6 with a modifier of -1.
So we're making a reflex save rather than a luck check. So a 5's not great.
No, it's not great. That's poor.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, Farg is going to be shouting his own name at a very high volume.
Yeah. It sounds like you found a burner character.
Yeah.
Phil.
Yes. So that's Mima, our lovely lady butcher.
Okay, cool. So the party wanders into the chamber, however much of a distance they feel is safe, but you are all in the chamber for the purposes of the fight. For the two unlucky ones, you hear again. It's like it's a skittering, but it's kind of not quite. It's like there's some like wet padding in there as well, and you turn and you see this face. Which will probably come up in a moment, but you see that face.
Wow!
It's got the head of.
Well, hang on.
It's got the head of a toad, and it's a spider, and it's all the bad things.
Toad.
Right, exactly. You hear that theme song right before it goes to try and grab you up.
How big is it?
I'm sorry?
How big is it?
It's about the size of a pretty big dog.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
So Mima's desperately trying to pull the cleaver out from her belt. That's the only weapon she's got.
Yeah. Well, as you're doing that, splat, you're covered in sticky, sinewy web. And it wraps you up, grabs you, and pulls you up towards the chamber's ceiling. So you're now hanging upside down, 30 feet in the air. Well, I guess not. It wouldn't get 30 feet in such a quick time, but quite a distance in the air. And Phil has an equally cinematic,
So
same
basically,
thing
you're saying
to
that
him.
the two Phils have been oppressed.
Yes.
Thanks.
Because you are Phil, isn't it?
We've only got one eye.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
good,
So,
I like that.
so now, what I'll get you to do is roll some initiative for me.
How do you want us to do that? As we've got multiple characters.
So you roll the highest initiative. The character with the highest initiative, they do the initiative for your party. And during the fight, you will act all 4 characters on your initiative turn. What I will recommend is keeping your fighting descriptions slightly brief, or these fights will take actually forever. So, feel free to get cinematic with it, but just we're not having long drawn out attack sequences here. Cool. So the bad guys got 14. Phil, what'd you get? Phil, Dark Orb.
Oh, I got an amazing 3.
3. That 3's the magic number for you tonight, man. That's happened.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that was a 2 + 1. So I'm feeling the love.
Erin?
4.
4. Improved Phil. Improved Phil?
Oh, sorry. What dice do you roll for initiative? D20?
D20. Add your initiative score.
So I've rolled a 10.
10. Fantastic. And Pete?
I got a 9. I was thinking I was going to get to go first, but you pipped me at the post there. So we all get to get gobbled up by the spider first, right?
Yeah. So the spiders actually get to go first. Yeah. And okay. And then Pete. And then Erin. And then Dark Orb Phil. Okay. Cool. So here's what's going to happen. The people who are hanging upside down from the spiders, having now collected their prey, are going to do what you expect spiders to do, especially toad spiders. Toad spiders are well known for doing this, which is biting. They're going to bite. And we're going to use the bite on Phil. That is a...
Which one?
Yeah, so you're just your regular Phil, your original Phil, and Sparkling Phil is the other one.
I'm still Phil.
So
right?
we've got 4 against your character, Phil.
Okay, 8 + 9.
Yep, cool. And then Vanilla Phil, it is 11
so
against your character's AC. 11. Okay, so cool. So 11 is a hit. So we're going to give that character, as it chomps down, 3 points of damage.
And everybody sees our lovely butcher fall unconscious, possibly dead.
Okay, yeah, no, they are dead.
Indeed.
So the way the characters dropping in DCC works is you have the number of rounds equal to your level to try and pick them up, and you have 0 levels.
Indeed.
So you're way dead. So yeah, as it bites into what was it, Mima? Is that
Mima?
who you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mima. She starts screaming, "It's burning! It's burning!" That as she is demised,
waving her cleaver around uselessly.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Cool. So that is the bad guys' turn. They are both bitten into their prey. One of them having now been prepared for devouring. Right. So now we have Cherry Phil. Your turn.
Okay, so obviously the party, we've seen everybody else get hooked up in the air. So Brody's got a bow and arrow, so he's going to pull his bow out and grab an arrow and try and shoot one of the frog spiders. I take it they're up in the air. Yes. Yeah. So we're going to try.
Which one?
The one that took Mima.
Okay. Cool.
And then Barbo's pulling out his swords, but he can't do anything unless there's a spider near him. I take it they're both still up in the air.
So they're both still up in the air.
He's waving he's ready with his dagger and his sword, but he can't reach because he's only a halfling.
Why don't for that character, roll me intelligence check real quick.
Okay. Oh dear, I've rolled an 18. I take it I meant to get lower, am I? Or
so the luck check's the only one that you go lower on. Yeah, you were meeting a DC. You were meeting a DC and you smashed it.
Yeah, I did indeed.
You managed to see that there are ample rocks for throwing around this chamber. If you so wished to arm yourself with rocks,
that's what he'll be doing then. So this round he'll be arming with rocks. Brody's going to fire his arrow, and let's see, Mima's dead, and Oryx's going to pull his sword and start trying to. Can he climb up any of the stalagmites? Can he get higher?
So when I was saying there was like ample rocks, you can get higher if you want. You're not going to be able to reach them with a melee weapon. But there are enough
he's going to be
rocks for all.
Rocks as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got two rock throwers and one arrow firer.
Cool. So then why don't you go ahead and roll some attacks for each of those characters?
Okay, and is that D20s as well?
D20s. The rocks, you're just adding your agility modifier.
Okay.
And the bow and arrow, if it doesn't have it written on your sheet, I can find out what the modifier. I think that'll just be an agility modifier as well, but we'll need to know what the damage is in a moment.
Oh, I've got the damage, so I'm all right for that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so rocks. Let's have a look. So the two rock throwers, I've got an 8 and a 16. So one's missed and one's hit.
An 8 and a 16. So we're hitting the AC of the spiders here. One's hit and one's missed. You are right.
Okay, and let's go for the arrow while we're at it then. 12, which I think is going to be on the cusp.
It's a hit.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's a hit. Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, arrows D4, I think. Yeah.
So was it a short bow? Was it?
Yeah.
Short bow is a D6.
Oh,
both your rocks are a D4.
Okay. So, that's my D4 on the floor. Never mind. So it's a 1 for the arrow. Oh, typical.
And then just as many ones on a D6 as there is a D4, I guess.
Indeed. And then I'll find my dice in a moment. There we go. I've got a D4 back again, and that's a 3. So we did better with the rock than we did with an arrow.
You missed with one rock, did you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you hit it, and it starts doing like these ones don't shriek like spiders; they croak like toads.
Ducks. Yeah.
Wah, wah. Yeah. We'll do all the farmyard animals before this fight starts.
Yeah, that's the noise this rock thrower made.
Right. So Pete, let's have you, and Aaron, you're on deck, so you'll be up next.
So I don't think anyone's got a better idea than throwing rocks at the thing. I think the caravan guard will wave his stick up for a moment, realize just how far he is away from hitting.
It's measuring it.
And pick up a rock and just throw it.
Yeah.
So we'll have
it's more than 10 feet.
Yeah, 4 rocks, I think. So a 12 with his agility of 0 for the first one. Our tax collector. He'll do a D4, I gather.
Yep. Is this on the same one that was just hit by Barbo and crew?
Yes, the soldier will shout out, "Focus fire!"
Oh,
and
excellent.
And the tax collector will catch him right in the eye with 4 damage from the first rock.
Oh, max damage!
Yeah.
Oric thinks he's a spellcaster, shouting words like that.
Beekeeper's next. 14 on the dice plus 1 for agility is 15.
Okay, stop it.
He's rolling a 1 for damage.
Okay, cool. That's more like it. Yeah.
Yeah. The soldier, having instructed everybody else to try and get one of these things off the roof,
he's got rock training.
10. He's going to roll a 10, and that will presumably miss.
Sails just passed. Yeah.
There were curses under his breath.
Yeah.
And 19 from the caravan guard.
Oh, caravan guard's got an arm. Let's do it.
Yeah. How much of an arm? 2 damage. Not bad. Not as good as the tax collector.
Okay. Cool. All right. So then, Erin, that would be your turn.
So both spider frog things are up. Up and out of the way. Jen and Jim, in perfect synchronization, pull their slings out and each cock a stone and flick it. Jim Jim got a 6, so I'm presuming that's failed to hit.
Yep.
That's a miss. And Jen, she got put off by Jim. She got 5. Troll,
how did you throw that badly?
Troll, seeing everybody else throwing stones, grabs one off the floor and throws at the same one everybody else has been throwing at. She lobs it really hard, and so 19.
Wow.
And that does 3 points of damage.
Cool. Tell me something cool that happens when you kill it.
The rock hits the spider frog spider toad thing right in one of the eyes. The stone goes straight in, lodges in, and with that, this sort of green, slimy stuff starts pouring out of the eye socket. And with that, its little legs shrivel up underneath it.
And it goes slamming down to the ground.
Yes.
Dust spews up around the ground. Okay, cool.
Bynan's gonna throw his rock as well. Grabs a rock off the floor, and he throws it as hard as he can. And he does an 11.
Cool. We won't do it for this one because I didn't get a chance to tell you beforehand. Because the other one has got Phil's character in its grasp. Misses will cause firing into melee problems. So anyone
blacksmith.
yeah. So if you missed, like you just did then, we might roll a 50 percentile to see whether you hit them. Oh, you want to? Okay, hey, look, if you're up for it, let's do it. Hang on. I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
80. All right, cool. So we're rolling under for your percentile. So we're all good. That's it. The rock satisfyingly sails under the head of Phil's character, but also misses the toad spider. Cool. Is there any other characters you have, Erin?
No, that was me. Thank you.
Okay, standard Phil.
Fog is shouting, fog, and wants to try and break out of the grasp of this
cool.
kind of wrapped up, isn't he?
So you're wracking yourself around it, but you just the effect, because you're so tightly tied up, the effect is just a slow, like a gentle, just sort of like swing.
Amazing.
But as you're spinning around, what you do notice is there is a you see a ledge that you wouldn't have otherwise seen from the ground. It's on the wall, probably about 10 feet up the side of the wall. So, something in the old brain for later. But for right now, you need to make me a DC 12 strength check to try and escape from the from the webbing.
Negatory got a 10. So
okay.
So, but maybe seeing that he's going to start trying to get a sort of inertia going on, swinging backwards and forwards whilst he's doing that, maybe.
He
meanwhile,
sort of gets like just a little bit.
Yeah,
so it's going to take like hours to get to that.
That's fine.
But yeah, you're okay.
And the others are going to just follow suit. So not with the swinging and the shouting Farg. But
Mhm.
in fact, no, the others are all going to start chanting Farg to try and encourage him. But whilst they're doing that,
Yeah.
but whilst doing that, Zeb, the astrologer, he's got a short bow. He's going to attempt to. How high up is Farg at the moment? He's it's going to hurt a lot if he falls kind of high, isn't he?
He's greater than 10 feet because he could see that. Canonically, you can see that ledge that's 10 feet up, right? Yeah. So he's not. He's. I did also say that you weren't all the way up to the roof because they couldn't get that high that quick. So I'd say probably 20 feet.
Okay. Well, that's great because Zeb fires his arrow and misses. Not a crit fumble, but let's roll a D100.
I guess we could say that he's pretty fucking high.
And that's a 39. So
a 39.
Yeah.
What?
It's all the threes, isn't it?
Yeah. He missed with his arrow. So
right, okay. Yeah. So what you do when you I know quite a few people in the room here know the rules, but for the benefit of people who might be watching, if you miss whilst you're firing into a melee, there is a 50% chance that you will hit a randomly determined other person. Being that there is only a spider and Farg currently hanging, the other person is Farg. And what happens now is that Phil is going to re-roll his attack against Farg.
It'll be amazing now, I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, natural.
Oh, that's an 8 with an AC of 9.
All right.
So I guess it kind of hits this sort of webbing. That webbing shield is just protecting him.
Fucking hell! Would you be careful with those arrows down there?
Out of interest, did that arrow stick in the web, or did he just miss the hit?
Trying to turn
dealer's choice.
Good success.
Okay. So I'd like
if you want the arrow in there, then that happens.
The arrow is there so that he's got something with a little bit of a blade. The other two are going to try and throw rocks at the spider thing.
Spider thing.
That's 14 and a 5. So one of those hits, one of those misses.
Okay.
The one that missed would have gone straight at Farg.
Did he get hit again?
Yeah.
It was just a hail of
and that
missiles going towards Farg.
So I don't know what damage rocks are doing. I missed that.
D4.
Okay.
I think the champion of Farg has had a negative effect.
There's a few people who think that the chant means we're actually supposed to hit Farg.
Yeah.
You know,
Farg, 2 points of damage on Farg. He's still alive.
Okay. He's still alive?
Yeah, and the other one hit for 2 points.
He's got a big shiner.
But I did hit the spider for 2 points.
Okay, you hit the spider for 2 points? Fantastic. All right. So, turn.
You dropped out for a second there, but you're back.
Oh, did I? Okay, sorry. Is that the end of your character's turn?
Yeah, that's everyone. Thanks.
Okay, fantastic. So we have one spider left who is still looking for lunch, and he is going to have roast Farg for dinner.
Oh dear.
He bites for, that is a 10 against your AC.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay, so you take 2 tooth damage.
2 tooth. So you just hear, Farg!
Farg! Oh no!
Farg!
Farg!
And you see this sort of the swinging pendulum of Farg just slowly coming to a stop.
It's still really sad, you know.
Yeah. And then the arrow falls on the floor and just goes.
Mega effort.
It is sad.
So there is a short silence, but then you realize that all of the rest of you could suffer the same fate. So we reinvigorate ourselves, and we have improved Phil's turn.
Okay, so we've got 2 rock throwers again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! So we've rolled a 12, which hits, and we've rolled a critical 1 with the other. So I'm not quite sure how we critically fumble a stone.
Okay. Well, this is another fun part of DCC. So when you roll a 1, you get to roll on a table to tell you how bad it was.
Oh no!
So you get to roll a d4, and you take away your luck modifier. So basically, you reverse it.
Let's find out which stone thrower it was. And then we'll find out what their luck score is.
If you hadn't decided it before, then I'd say it's the unluckiest one.
Okay. So that is going to be Oric, who's my mercenary. So he's really fluffed this one. Okay, let's find out.
He's used to real weapons, not rocks.
Yeah,
you know
indeed.
What I mean?
Yeah,
this isn't even balanced.
Oh dear, I've rolled a 4. So what does that give for us?
Okay, so 4, and then it's minus your luck score. So if you've got a
no, it's just 9. So there's no luck score.
No luck score. Okay, so it's just a straight up 4.
I do have a lucky roll which says a warrior's arm, which I think makes it worse, actually, doesn't it?
It's not modified to 0. Yeah. No change.
Yep. No, you're all good. So, well, it could have been worse because this is one of the ones that. So your weapon is damaged. A bowstring breaks, a sword hilt falls off, a crossbow fire mechanism jams. The weapon can be repaired in 10 minutes of work. But that's a good one. Yeah, you throw it so hard it hits the wall, and just like because you're a mercenary, right? So
yeah, indeed,
it hits the wall and it just goes.
Sorry, folks. So the other one was a 12, which I'm not sure if that's a hit or not.
12's a hit, yes.
Okay. And was it D4 for stones again? Yes.
D4 for stones. Yep.
A 1.
A 1. Okay.
And then my other character is going to try and fire another arrow, but this time a bit more accurately.
Mm-hmm.
We only got it in the leg last time. So we have a roll of 11.
Okay.
No modifiers.
Well, a 12 hits. You can spend luck if you want to try and make that hit.
No, I think he's quite happy to fire his arrows. So is that a miss?
That's a miss.
Oh dear. That's me
done. Miss unless you make it. Yeah. It goes thumping into the corpse of Farg. Unfortunately, he's too far gone to help. So the arrow doesn't make a lot of mind.
Extra damage.
Pete? Yeah.
Muted.
I always love your stories, Pete.
I think you went from unmuted to muted then, which is quite impressive.
my mercenary, my caravan guard, realizes that Farg might fall, and half of his he sort of goes. He's got some linen. He was thinking of making and then he watches him swing slowly and throws a rock instead. He's going to make something to catch him with, but he realizes that Farg is no more. And rolls a 9 to hit, which is not, I think, good enough to hit the spider.
No, it is not.
However, Arthur Eisen, tax collector extraordinaire, with his 18 on the dice, will hit again for 3 points of damage to this spider.
Everyone is definitely starting to hate the tax collector.
Yep. We get a 12 from our
too good.
Another 12. 12's going to hit.
+1.
Yep.
3 more points of damage.
Wow.
And finally, the grizzled and gruff soldier, Charwell Drogor. 14 on the dice, and he's not got any bonus, so that's fine. He's rolled a 1, and again, he seems to at least be hitting the target this time.
I mean, that's a hell of a team you got there. I mean, that's 7 damage in a round. That's all right. So this toad spider is looking fairly bloodied, still baying and but it's still up, but barely. So,
I have
Aaron,
a task to do. I'll be nipping in and out for a second.
Okay, sure. Aaron?
Both Jim and Jen attempt again to fling some stones with their slings, and both of them fail miserably. Not critically fail, but they're clearly just not very good with the old sling. Bynum, on the other hand,
in those slapstick comedies where like someone's knocked out and they just keep on getting beaten with like stuff. I'm just imagining
all these stones hitting Farg.
Farg's just getting absolutely beaten the crap out of with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And whereas Bynum and Trall both chuck stones, and one of them got a 12 and the other one got a 17.
Okay, both hit.
Excellent. Cool. And it's D4. So Bynum is 3 points of damage and Trall is 4 points of damage.
Crikey.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so this toad spider's way dead. Why don't you roll me a 50 percentile? I want to get under
60.
Okay, cool. Both the cocoons with little heads popping out of Farg and Mima both hang above in the thing. They don't fall, but the spider is dead in a dramatic way that I've now learned from your last description not to ask for another one if I don't want to feel a little bit ill in my tummy.
Unfortunately, I've already got the image of the green ooze now.
So I can't unthink that. Yeah. So yeah, you're out of initiative. You've defeated the toad spiders. Yay!
Yay!
And only a few of you died.
Two more lost in this place, though.
I'm so proud of you. Only 2 dead. Yeah. Okay.
Yay!
So
you missed it.
No. I've got a bit more in and out to do, but I was listening.
Cool. So you're in a 40 by 40 sort of natural cavern, stalagmites and stalactites. There is webbing all over the place. You now notice that you didn't pick up on earlier. There's a sparkly thing in the middle of the room, and there are 2 rubbery, toad, spidery corpses laying on the floor, as well as there are. You actually notice there's 5 cocoons in the in the roof. Only 2 of them contain your friends, and there's that ledge we were talking about as well. So what do you do?
So
combine and inspect the toad spiders with his keen, skilled butcher's eye. He wants to see if there's any good cuts of meat on them.
Does he have that butcher's eye in a jar, or because of the eye of the butcher that died earlier?
Go ahead
It's still up there.
Go ahead
20.
and roll intelligence. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're able to find a cut around the flank. There's a bit of meat underneath the carapace there that you could probably cut out with probably about 10 minutes worth of work.
He's going to do that. He's going to sit there with his cleaver and cut this bit of spider toad out. Toad spider, whatever the hell it is. Yeah. No, it doesn't hack us. He does it neatly. He's a good butcher.
Yeah, butcher. Yeah, indeed. Goodness me. Barbo's going to carry on heading towards the shiny thing, but also I want Oric to be looking. So we know what 2 of the things are hanging in the ceiling. What do the other 3 look like? Can we see? Because obviously the other 2 have got like heads poking out. Is there anything visible sticking out of the cocoons?
No, there's nothing visible, but they are roughly like
humanoid
shaped. Yeah.
Okay.
So as you walk towards the shiny object, you get closer. You realize the sort of like size, the general size of them, and you get a better idea of their silhouette, and you recognize them as glasses. And if you could do a big reveal for me, Phil, on the show here. Dark Orb Phil, there you go.
Oh,
you would
round spectacles.
You would notice those glasses anywhere, and we can probably leave on that bombshell for this particular part of the episode.
Wow!
Dun dun dun! Wow, that was really cool. Thank you, Zach. And obviously, thank you to our cast, to me. Thank you, me, Erin, Pete, and Phil. We'll be back really soon, so please tune in for the next episode. Thanks so much.
Cool.
Hey, I need to find the thing. Where's the thing gone, everyone?